Do you remember this moment? The joy, the excitement of being able to hug your newborn child? How much is it worth having a healthy baby born at term? If you ask these mothers whose babies were born early and had to spend weeks and months by the incubator of the neonatal intensive care units, fearful that their babies might live or die, fearful that they may suffer from substantial disabilities for the rest of their life, they would tell you they would give the world. Hello, I'm Dr. David Shashar. I'm the acting CEO of atTerm Medical, where we're developing the preterm birth prevention device that will stop spontaneous preterm birth and allow women with a healthy pregnancy reach delivery at term. Preterm birth is the leading cause of neonatal death and illness. 6 to 12% of babies are born preterm. That's 15 million worldwide, of which 1 million will die. And 1 million will suffer from substantial disabilities for the rest of their life. Breathing disorders, feeding disorders, and neural disabilities like blindness, neurodevelopment, and cerebral palsy. The financial burden of preterm birth is enormous. In the US alone, costs reach $26 billion a year. The cost of treating a preterm born baby can reach $190,000. During his first year of life, the cost of treating a preterm born baby is more than 10 times that of a baby born at term. Spontaneous preterm birth accounts for 50% of preterm births. What causes it? Putting it simple, contractions and cervical loosening occur too early. Instead of the baby being expelled from the womb at 37 to 42 weeks of pregnancy, contractions and cervical loosening appear early at 24 to 36 weeks. That's at 6, 7, and 8 months of pregnancy. We can define women at risk for preterm birth and try to treat them. But all treatments, including medications, sutures, and pessaries, have been unsuccessful. As you can see in the second column, in the example of atTerm, there is willingness to pay, yet the medical healthcare system is at loss. And this is where we at atTerm Medical come in. I am proud to present the OBSPRING, a disposable device positioned by the physician in the outpatient clinic and removed at term. The small device is secured around the uterine cervix, which consists of an upper ring, a lower ring, and an elastic spring mechanism connecting between them. The elastic mechanism behaves as a shock absorber. It allows the cervix to momentarily shorten during contractions and restores the cervix to its initial state after contractions. And this way prevents the cervical changes that lead to preterm birth. Our preclinical tests have been very encouraging. We have shown that 85% of the forces equivalent to premature contractions were absorbed, thus maintaining the length of the cervix. The most influential obstetrician in Europe has evaluated the OBSPRING and found its mechanism to prevent preterm birth to be very credible. Once we reach approval to conduct studies in pregnant women, he intends to fund and conduct the first acceptability studies and lead the multi-center clinical studies to test the OBSPRING in pregnant women at risk for preterm birth. The market opportunity is huge. 10 to 15% of all pregnancies are at risk for spontaneous preterm birth. That's over 2 million a year in developed countries and 9 million in developing countries. The market potential is over $2 billion in developed countries alone. We have an energetic team with the necessary capabilities to take us forward. And we are supported by the organization that founded the platform where atTerm Medical evolved, Trendlines Groups and Sheba Medical Center, which is the largest medical center in Israel. Thank you.
For how is the device in general actually provide the key to it working better than a cerclage or a pessary?
The cervical suture is basically a suture around the uterine cervix. It's intended for cervical insufficiency. And when contractions begin, you have to take it off, otherwise the cervix is going to tear. The pessary was proven in a multi-center study which was published in the New England Journal of Medicine and later in other medical publications, that when contractions begin, it just falls off. And when we developed the OBSPRING, we looked at the advantages and the disadvantages of the current solutions. This is why we developed the OBSPRING, which basically is intended for both cervical insufficiency and premature contractions. So as you mentioned, the mechanism of it's fit for keeping the cervix long in cervical insufficiencies, and then when contractions begin, the elastic mechanism starts working and absorbs and allows the cervix to keep it long all time during contraction, to keep it all the way till we reach term.